I will be evaluating Barbie and Ken experience the war. During this time, Americans are experiencing a time for change. The Vietnam War was considered to be a very unpopular war. The Americans felt separated from this war, and this was causing issues for the morality of Americans and their character attitudes. Barbie and Ken are plastic and represent something not real or fake because there were exaggerated feelings of Americans during this time in history towards the Vietnam War. This war was not supported, and Barbie and Ken's extremely shallow and vain characters exemplify the mindset of many during this time. Unsympathetic attitudes are important tenets of the soldiers dying, and Barbie represents an accomplice to Ken in this journey of fun and carelessness. Ken doesn't care to fight in the war because he's too entitled to be in the front. The real question to ask is, while real men are dying, who is profiting? Well, of course, Ken is. Ken symbolizes the ugly attitudes that Americans feel they can buy anything and they're not understand the value and the meaning it holds to others. While Barbie buys tourist stuff, it shows her lack of sincerity towards others in the country for which the war is occurring. The entertainment is what they value, which in turn holds very, very little value at all. Ken also sees his friends acquiring medals and awards, and this does not seem to faze him in the slightest. Ken sees his friends' success as worthy, but not something he would ever attain for himself. What does Barbie and Ken really represent? Bad attitudes towards the war during this time. Life is a party, and they cannot be concerned with the war and its ugliness. They are also trying to hide the true darkness of the war and demonstrate the feelings of the high society. Now, getting to a more modern perspective of Barbie and Ken, nowadays, people are more patriotic, and Barbie and Ken would not receive the same treatment. Barbie and Ken would still represent high society and enjoy the other side of the war. Especially if Barbie and Ken are wealthy, then they would receive good treatment. But it would not be the same today. People hold strong viewpoints of the war, and many people take the war seriously, and would think of Barbie and Ken's attitudes as shameful and nothing to celebrate. Their enjoyment of the war would bring about consequence. Judgment and anger would surface if Barbie and Ken existed today. People are more supportive of protecting the U.S. and our freedom. Barbie and Ken were supposed to be the well-liked figures in the war. Barbie and Ken were designed to be the perfect, ideal images of Americans today. Today, Barbie and Ken would exemplify a supportive team, and they would put forth effort to support and justify the needs of the war and how it benefits Americans today. Barbie and Ken should be in favor of the war because when people are in favor of the war, the country improves its overall ideals and productivity. One common goal equals one common result. Other countries would not treat Americans so well and in a glamorous way. Therefore, these attitudes would be different today, and we would see more humility from Barbie and Ken. Barbie and Ken would not be so superficial. They would exemplify a true patriotic American in support of winning the war.